about two most important Google ranking factors. And the first of these factors is content, and the other one is links. And probably most of you have heard the saying that content is king, right? Well, not every content, because if your content brings you this much of traffic, then it's certainly not a king. And this is how much traffic gets the most of the content which is published online. So I rather prefer a saying that content that brings you traffic consistently, which is optimized, ranking Google, and have links, is an ace. And if you play cards, you know that ace is better than the king. So if you're wondering now, so basically what content should I be publishing? The simplest answer to this question is that you should publish content which is helpful for your users and offer answers to their questions, solve your users' problems, and increase their knowledge and skills. And to help you define this in more detail, you can ask yourself a couple of questions. So why do users even need your product or service? What are they going to use it for? Or what problems might they have while using it? Because in fact, when people buy, for example, digital cameras, they want to use these cameras to take pictures. So you should then, if you sell digital cameras, you should publish content which is helpful for users to take better pictures. The same with fishing equipment. You should publish content which is going to be helpful for your clients to catch their dream fish. And the same with fitness supplements. So if you sell fitness supplements, essentially publish content which will be helpful for your users to achieve their dream body. And thanks to this approach, you will put your users in the center of your attention, and your content will be focused on their needs, not on yours. Because users need this information anyway. Where they can go to find them? So of course they can go to books, online forums, some online magazines, or maybe even printed magazines. But what if they could find all this information on the blog on your website? This is a great source of traffic, which can bring you traffic consistently. And most of this traffic is organic, meaning that if your content ranks in Google, you don't need to pay for every visit, like in pay-per-click ads. But some of you may be wondering, why should I even care about this type of traffic? Because this traffic is not transactional. This traffic doesn't convert. Well, everyone would like to have only transactional traffic that converts, but the reality is a bit different. Most of the statistics actually say that 80% of sales happen after the fifth touch between client and the brand. So all these informational queries and the informational content that doesn't convert is a great way to have these first touches between brand and the client. So this informational traffic just cannot be ignored. Let's compare the average search volume for two keywords. One of them is purely informational, mattress buying guide, and the other one is transactional, like buy mattress online. So which of them do you think has more searches? Yeah, the first one. Mattress buying guide has like twice more searches than buy mattress online. So what that shows us is that there's a bigger demand for informational content online. Therefore, informational search queries are searched more. Here we have the typical sales funnel that clients go through before they take action and buy stuff. For every stage of that sales funnel, we can find appropriate keywords that users search to find information online. And once we go down through that funnel, from awareness stage to interest, decision, and action, we can clearly see that search volume for the keywords that are used to find this information online decreased dramatically. So again, this shows us that there's a bigger demand for informational content than for transactional content. So why this informational content is so important? Google is in fact a big content catalog. And the ultimate goal of Google is a happy user. And when the user is happy, the user is happy when he quickly finds what he's looking for. So websites that quickly deliver answer to the user make him happy, therefore Google is happy. If I was asked to give you the best advice about content, that would be that less is more. Usually, before even thinking what should you should be publishing next, you should check how your old content is performing. Do you regularly visit your Google Analytics to see what are the pages that consistently bring traffic? Or Google Search Console to see what are the keywords that bring you impressions and clicks to your website? What you should be looking for are pages that already rank somewhere around the top. So ideally that would be the bottom of page 1, like something that ranks on number 5 or position 7 or 8. And the other metric is search volume. So if there are keywords that you rank for between 7, 8, or 10 position that have high search volume, these are your priorities. You should be focusing on them because it will be easier to move them up in rankings than basically get some like new article or new content ranking. And if you think that if your website ranks on page 1 already and it's good enough, let's see at the organic click-through rate that we can get from ranking at position number 1. So 4 years ago, for desktop, it used to be somewhere around 38%, and on mobile, it used to be 34%. So recently, these numbers are around 10% smaller. So what that means, if you rank number 1 in Google, not 2, not 3, number 1, out of every 100 impressions, you get 10 clicks less. You get 10 visits less. So what are the reasons for this smaller click-through rate? This is a screenshot from a 13-inch laptop that shows a Google search. We can see 4 ads and Google Shopping box on the right. And the first organic result is not even visible fully without scrolling. This is all because not only the ads, but also these advanced search features that Google came up with to let us find information quicker. So knowledge graphs are visible in around 20% of all searches, and the same direct answer boxes. Currently, according to the research, around 10% on desktop. So is this all a threat for us marketers, website owners? It kind of is a threat, but it's also an opportunity. Because for these direct answers, they rank even higher than position number 1. You can be picked up to be shown in a direct answer even if you don't rank on the top. So here's an example of a page that ranks on position number 5. So how we could use that opportunity? How to optimize for these direct answers? So first you should identify keyword opportunities. And the best are keywords that are question type keywords, like why, who, what. Also, the longer the search query, meaning that the more words it has, it's also the bigger chance that there's gonna be a direct answer or a knowledge graph. Also search volume plays a role here. But what I really recommend is to pay attention to that people also ask section. on Google. You can find great questions there that which you can transform directly to a content idea. Because if these are people also ask, you have your long tail keywords there. You can grab them and without any optimization, build an article around these queries. So then you'll be a perfect fit to be an answer for that question as that search query. So the other step is to adjust your content to the formats that are frequently used by Google in these direct answer boxes. So bulleted lists, short ones, are frequently shown. Also charts and tables, and very short paragraphs that have direct answers to that search query, placed directly below the heading with that question. Another thing that's related to content is that we can see that the length of top ranking posts is increasing. According to Search Metrics Rankings Factor study, which is published every year, we can see that in 2015, the average length of page one content was 1,300, and then it increased to 1,600, and at the moment, last year, because they didn't publish this year's report, it was 1,900 words. So does that mean that we should extend our content, write longer articles? Yes, if that makes sense. If the topic that you write about makes sense to create a longer piece. And even you can optimize your old content by adding some more paragraphs, making it longer and more comprehensive. So this is the simple formula that you can use on how to extend your content in the right way. So first you should analyze your competitors, meaning that check the other results in Google on page one of search results, and read them in detail, see and compare them to your piece. So what are their competitive advantages? What they write about that you don't write about? So basically you should add these missing paragraphs and the missing information accordingly, and then the content will be extended naturally. We had a case study of one of our clients where we took an article that was already around 2,500 words, meaning that it was already a pretty long article. But we extended it to 4,000 in total. And what we saw when we started optimizing this article and like extending it, the position for a main keyword was around 8. And after around 2 months, it moved up to 1. So this is very interesting case study that shows that when you focus on optimizing your old content and refreshing it, to refresh it, to extend it regularly, it will be performing better. And let's move to links for a second. And the best advice I could give you about links is the same advice I could give you about content. Less is, again, more. With links specifically, because in the SEO industry, a couple of years ago, it used to be a trend that the recommendation you could hear is get as many links as possible, so quantity over quality. So at the moment, you shouldn't be focusing on quantity, but on quality of links that refer to your website. So recently, you should be focused on building relationships online with bloggers, journalists, website owners, and then leveraging these relationships in multiple ways. You could, for example, through guest posting on each other's websites, or promoting your own blog content. But the best way that I see recently for acquiring high-quality links is through publishing creative content campaigns. And what are these creative content campaigns? So essentially, my definition is that this is awesome content and whose main goal is to gain much exposure and, of course, links also. And I can show you the example of a creative campaign that we've done for one of our clients. What we've done, we've surveyed foreigners living in 8 biggest Polish cities about what they think about the cities they live. They could rate them in various categories, like do you think your city is safe? How do you think is it modern? Is it tolerant? So we came up with a nice ranking of Polish cities ranked by foreigners that live in there. So what were the results? Well, these are some of the media that picked up our report and wrote about it. You can see some big media companies out there, but also websites of official websites of some cities. So if you think about the quality of the websites that you can get links from, this is just pure gold. So in total, our campaign got about 70 online republications, from where we got like 35 very valuable links. We also got a press mentions in print. So the next day we published the report on our client's website. Gazeta Wyborcza in Wrocław made a cover topic from our report. There were also local radio and TV mentions and lots of users' comments. So these are all benefits from content marketing campaign, PR campaign. You can call it whatever you like, but the best links come from campaigns such like this. And basing on this, on the example of that campaign, we can clearly define some features of a creative campaign that should have. So the first one is the idea. The idea you come up should be focusing on the attention of not your users, as you would regularly focus on when you'll be publishing your blog posts. This time, for a creative campaign, your target audience is basically media, our bloggers, our journalists, our website owners. So we need to come up with the idea that will be interesting enough for them to make a story. So the second thing is data. Data in any possible way. It can be your original data, so you can create a survey, but it can be data that is available out there somewhere else, and you can just give it a new angle. Aside from the data, also once you have it, for example, statistics, you need to, of course, create very good quality graphics. So the data you come up with will be easily digestible for the users. And the last, but the most important step for an effective creative campaign is promotion, is sharing it across all the channels that you have, also sending it to various places by emails. We call it email outreach, letting the journalists and bloggers know about such piece, and then even investing in some pay-per-click ads, either on Facebook or on other social platforms. So let everybody know that you published such a report, and then if you put it in front of the eyes of the right people, they can pick up your story and they can refer to that story to your website, giving you a link, giving you a brand mention, and many other benefits, because you become a source of that data and you become a source of that story. So there's also a quote from an American marketer that I would like to share with you, who says that if you sell something, you make a customer today, but if you help somebody, you have a customer for life. And by publishing content that is focused on your users' needs and problems, when you help them solving these problems by publishing that content, you essentially help them. So you gain their trust and you gain their loyalty. And this is what I wish you all guys, that you get a loyal customers by publishing a lot of content. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wojtek Mazur, Elephate.